Hello everyone, and welcome on today's webinar, How to Implement Power BI in Your Organization. This is the second webinar today. We had one in the morning, GMT time. And my name is Mladen. I will be your host today on today's webinar. Definitely Power BI is a hot topic, and there are many presentations, videos available today about Power BI. So our is a little specific because the source of the data that we are dealing with is Microsoft Dynamics AX or NAV. So this brings two things: complexity when it comes to data structure and the size, and these both are very important when we do something with Power BI. Actually, what we have to do is, on the source side, we have to do and spend a lot of time on data preparation. And by far, this is the most risk part of implementation. Then inside of the Power BI desktop, we have to create a data model and reports. This is not that difficult. You have to learn things. That's it. And at the end side, front-end side, we have to publish reports, distribute them on web or mobile, and manage users. This is no risk at all. It's easy. You have to learn. You learn much faster than creating the reports, and that's pretty much it. So most of the time on today's webinar, we'll be doing about the data preparation, because this is a key, and in most webinars on presentation, this is not mentioned, as most of webinars are in this area here. And as a source, they use 5 or 10 flat tables, which is by far away from what we have in Microsoft Dynamics. So on a data preparation, specifically in the first part of our webinar, we had a look whether we can connect with the cubes or to data warehouse if we have already some data warehouse-based solution. And there is an attribute that's very important, an option in which mode we are working with Power BI, whether this is import or DirectQuery mode or option. Then in report design, we'll just speak about what is the difference of using Excel or Power BI. Is it Excel or Power BI, or Excel and Power BI? Is Power BI going to replace Excel or extend Excel functionality? And at the end, just a few words about refreshing data using gateways and users access. Now, as this is a free educational webinar, please allow me just one slide, a few words about BF4 Dynamics. We are a UK-based company developing a data warehouse-based solution for Microsoft Dynamics AX and NAV. We sell our solution worldwide. We have sold around 1,000 projects, so we are in this standardized business intelligence world. And our customers are looking for content and flexibility. This is what they expect from Dynamics, and again, the same thing they expect here in BI area that we are dealing with. Now, Power BI is already around for 1 year and 1.5 if we count the beta period, and it got on the first spot on Gartner quadrant. The competitors lost half of market valuation, or almost half of market valuation. And currently, or one and a half month ago, Microsoft published they have 5 million users. That is, in a way, it's a lot, but I think 90%, 95% might be free users. And the goal of Microsoft is to have 1 billion users. So that's quite a high goal. And that's good. We'll have a better software. Now, on the first part, we'll be speaking about data preparation. And as Dynamics, NAV, and AX is way different. So what do we have here? In the source, we have Microsoft Dynamics NAV with, let's say, about 1,000 tables, or 6,000 with 6,000 to 7,000 to AX. We structure this already in the data warehouse or in the cubes. So in the next step we do in Power BI, we do some desktop modeling and importing data to publish this data in the cloud. There is a gateway if you want to automatically update our data in the mobile, then we need a gateway. Otherwise, we can do with the free version manually. I will have a look, and the first part of our presentation is all about data source. Now, the first step to get data to Power BI Desktop has more ways. Before we continue, I would like to launch pools so that I know how deep technically I can speak on today's presentation depending on the profiles that you are. So please assist me in these pools. And the first question is, what kind of SQL database you are using? And if you are a partner, don't say enterprise, just think about what your customers are using most commonly. Because we, ISVs, many times you're using Power BI, enterprise version. Actually, the customers most time are using standard still. 2008 R2 1/3, 2012 next third, and 2014 next. So we are still voting. Voting almost complete. It will not make any much change. So we are about 15% on enterprise and more than 85% on standard. So this is very important. Okay, thank you for this. Please continue with the next pool. It's a very short one. It will tell us something about yourself. Are you familiar with SQL? Very familiar. I know some basics here and there. I know select and where, or I know nothing. So most of you is in a very familiar area, and there are a few that know some basics, and there are a few that know nothing yet, but are learning fast. Okay, so I think we are done. So now 2/3, 65% of you are very familiar with SQL. This is good. And 27, 28% know some basics, and 9% don't know much about, but are learning very fast. Good. Thank you for this. We continue. So when we import data to Power BI Desktop, we have more ways to do. We can go directly to SQL ERP database and go after one of the 1,000 or 6,000 tables. And that's possible, that's an option, but not the best way. Because we have to transform data somehow. And these raw data are not really something that you are happy to build BI solution on the top of that. Now, a better way to go is if you have some ready structured data that come out of ERP. So NAV, latest versions of NAV, have web services that are giving through OData feed queries or pages. And this is better because it's already at least somehow structured, but still has to go some way. Let's finish here. The best definitely would be if we have a data warehouse-based solution, or just cube-based solution, and without a data warehouse, then we can go directly to the cubes. But here is a problem. This won't work if you don't have an enterprise version, either business intelligence or enterprise version on SQL 2012 and later. So as we have seen, most of the customers is not there yet. So we have to go one step back, and this is data warehouse. If you have data warehouse based solution, otherwise we suggest you to do something in between, because yeah, this can solve you something, some level, but you need something more. Actually, if we have a look in the next table, backend part by different data sources, and let's focus on readiness. Okay, directly going to the source, we are not much ready. Little better with, for example, Dynamics NIV BI content pack, depending on what you need. So we are 2050 data warehouse. most transformation are done in data warehouse, and if you have the cubes create MDX and hierarchies, translations, and so on. So we can do this in most of the things also in DAX. The cubes are the best choice, but due to licensing, we cannot really use it so often. So because we are ISV that offers standardized solution, we have to focus on where most of our customer is. This is in this area, and later this is also coming. Excel will be also a nice tool. Not pinning the report to Excel, but just Power BI reading Excel structures. So let's focus now. Continue on that warehouse. And the first thing that we notice when we are looking into the Power BI price list, and Microsoft is saying something about the size, and we are not used to. You see, free user 1 GB and paid user 10 GB, which is why in good old Excel times or other front-end times, it was not much about the size. Of course, Microsoft is publishing this to the cloud, and if we are parking a car into someone's garage, it's not unlimited. Now the question, we have to know what is the other size. The question is, can we have our own garage? Can we publish Power BI reports on premise, which means in sort of a server part or something? And the answer is not yet. Microsoft is offering SQL Server reporting services in 2016 that is based on DataZen, but this is not Power BI. And another thing, SQL Server 2016 reporting services can host Power BI file, but later you can view it in you can only view it in the Power BI. You cannot view it in the browser. So actually, the SQL roadmap says that okay, we have delivered SQL 2016 phase 1. In phase 2, Microsoft will deliver also a Power BI on premise, which is a good. It's a structure that will not require SharePoint, and it will work as I hope works now across browsers, which is very often a case because many organizations or governments are somehow still reluctant to go to the cloud. Now back to the data size. In Excel time, whatever you put to Excel, you will be, around 50, 100K or more. Now, if you import 1 million rows into Power BI report, because Power BI report keeps structures and data, suddenly we have 150 megabyte, which is, already something. 1 million rows is not a small table, but it's not really a big table. So if we use, 100K, then it's about 15 mega. So it's a linear, depends also. And the same data, if you check your data structures in your NAV, then these data size are similar, maybe plus minus 15-20%, depends on the keys that we are using. So you have a good idea how much space you will need. You have 10 GB for a pro version or 1 GB for a free version. You just count the tables, more or less, and yeah, it should work. Now, but there is something that Microsoft is developing heavily, and the other mode is that allows is not importing data, but is just sending a query to the source. In this case, you may have 1 million rows in your data source, but because this is another mode, you'll be using less than 1 mega or around 1 mega. So, for example, for 50 million rows, this should be already 50 times a lot, and it will be much less. So what we definitely have to learn about the other way. One way is import, and the other is direct query. So we'll go into the first part, into a little more detail, and this is whether we use import or data query. And when that is happen, so let me just go here, and when I open my Power BI desktop, I want to get my data, and I run on SQL Server. So I run local host. Oh, it's just there, you see. It's import or direct query. Before I do anything, it's already on the first screen. And so this is important, and we will now have a look what and how. Now, Of course, it would be best not to rely on a system that has some data limitation, which this one import definitely has. So I was calculating, for example, that by the rule of thumb, if your database is 10 or 25 GB, 20 GB, you can still work without source redesigning, without grouping the transactional table and putting away some information like document ID and grouping it on a monthly basis or something. So you can work with a 1 tera database, no problem, but not just bringing in all transactions, but some grouping has to be done. Definitely some data warehouse grouping. And we would like to use import as much as possible, but because of this limitation, okay, we will be focusing also ourselves on DirectQuery. So we would like to work on DirectQuery, but as soon as we are in the DirectQuery, there are limitations, which means not all data sources are available. On import, I mean, you can go to SQL Server, analysis services, Excel, I mean, name it, have it, like 30, 50 different sources. All is working, it's fine. While here, maybe 4 or 5, like SQL Server, Database Engine, definitely. That is where our mostly Microsoft Dynamics on-premise data are. Number of data sources. We are used to, import as many of different data sources, not just one type, many types and many data sources. Here, only one. That's it, nothing else. And then when we are doing the modeling, okay, we have these DEX and we have this M, or it's working. The same things are not working here, has some limitations. And so let me see and show you what the limitations are, just to let you know it's all here. So this is the web page. If, by the way, any of you would like to get a PowerPoint or Excel or any of the structures that we're presenting today, you just send us the email. We'll manage this individually. Now, so limitation of direct queries, all tables must come from single database. Not happy. Query editor is overly complex and error may occur. Not good. And relationship is limited to single directions. What does it mean? You cannot use many-to-many relation that you can use when building a data model in bidirectional table connection. So if you are, I wouldn't say at the edge of modeling, but if you are doing more demanding things, yeah, you need bidirectional. And some limitations are expressed when you are working with DEX. You can overcome, but obviously, if you feel it already, limitations. But let me tell you the good story. In the past, it was even worse. You cannot add a column, you cannot add calculated measures and many other things. So this is improving every day, which is good, good, good. And definitely the best way is to try to start in DirectQuery. And if you don't need additional source or additional data source type, then you are fine. If something happens, you can move from DirectQuery easily to import, but there is no way to go from import to DirectQuery. You have to redesign it. And most of the solution that we or anyone in the world has been doing the last 6 months, I guess, have been in this import mode, and now we are switching to DirectQuery, and hopefully DirectQuery will offer us more and more. Okay, so we have to know and think about this part here. Now, after we import data, we manage the source. We'll have a look how to work with tables. We'll do some example. And what is interesting here is just I give you a tip. The things that when we write the database name, for example, is case sensitive. So let's say the right name is BF4 Jata 50, and you put this caps lock. It will report you an error, and it will say user was not authorized. It is the same message even if the database is not there. So, a pain. But okay, we live with this. After once we learn this, and let's move to one example to see how we can do this, and we'll do a basket analysis. So actually, what is a basket analysis? You know, when you are shopping, you buy one item and probably you are buying more. And you know, salespeople and retailers, everyone wants to find out what is the pattern. So if you put milk, what else do you buy? And they are looking for some relationships. This is basket analysis with the retail language, because you know, if you are purchasing one item and you know that it's strongly related with another, then we can use this for marketing. We can use this for positioning items in our retail stores or on the web, and all sorts of things. So this is very important for everyone selling. And what we'll do is connect to our data warehouse that has retail data. We could go directly to the source, but data warehouse is much better data readiness. We'll create an update data model, create dimension and measures, and select very powerful visuals, publish this to the cloud and mobile. So let's start. We go to this Power BI desktop. This is empty, so let me just show you here. So this is empty, 100 kilobyte is this report. It's nothing. After we will do, this is what we did in the morning, it will be 20 megabyte. And in order to go this better and faster, I have prepared already on myself. So I'll enter the server name, database name, and the 4 scripts that we have here are the scripts, the measures that we will do. So hopefully everything will go smooth and you will have a good feeling how to do. So let's start with the connecting to server, and we'll go to localhost. I'll just use, and I have it on a SQL 2014 instance, and the database is BF4 Nav Retail. I'll use the import mode. Doesn't really matter for this a few minute presentation. I'm connected, so what we see first here are 300 tables. Actually, not everything are tables, true tables. There are also views, so maybe half-half. So what we need is a fact, something with post-trans, I guess. Fact post-trans else entry. Okay. We will not select all the related tables because there are foreign keys related to this table, and it would give us in our solution, I think, at least 15 to 20 tables, maybe 25. So, you know, for our demo, we don't need that much. We'll just go after item, a dim item. So you see the views and everything, but we just need a true table. So this guy here, and we'll do a load. Okay. So now we are loading directly to our data model, and it will be about, I think, 150 transactions and 100,000 items, sort of. Just wait a little. Okay, 139, and that's this. Okay, so we have it. I'll just save this currently as a 1.2 version and check the data size. Okay. So 1.2, it's not here. Just save me on the save as. It's here. Let me put it to the right folder. Power BI reports. It should be here. Okay. So we have 40 mega. Okay, good. Now I'll go and jump again here to our basket analysis. You know, in order to have items or some item attribute like division, item category, group, whatever, in columns and rows, we have to look and get item table again, a copy, because we'll have it in columns and rows. So what we will do is we'll go to the recent data source and go after dim item again. This is needed. And it is, just okay to load this again. He will give a sign item 2, dim item 2 table. Okay? And it's evaluating, looking, getting into the data model automatically. It's connecting to the right field with the same name, and we have it. So in a data model, we have these, and what we will do now first is go here into the queries and put away all the other fields. So I'll just leave all the fields here because I'll just do some changes on the visual part. So let's say, okay, we have an item table, and this item table has maybe 50 or 60 or a lot of fields here. I don't need that many fields, so what I do is remove other columns so that I can then select other that I need. And actually, I will need a division, and I will need item category. We have code description. I'll just go after this. So I think, and I need something else. I don't think so. Maybe I could do the item description, but I'm going high level. So this is pretty much it. And I'll do the renaming item category. So this is going to be another step here, and division, just like division. So I'm done with this transformation here. I will repeat the things for my item. What the name here I will give is item filtered. Okay, because it will be used as a filter in my basket analysis. But the steps are the same. Remove other columns. Always, be on ID, because this is a key that you need to connect to the source, the fact here. Division, category, item category. Okay. So what I will do here is item category. I'll keep this. I'll write filtered. Okay, and these two should be like filtered. That I don't make a mistake here. And even this would be reasonable to write filtered. Just one-time job, so it's okay. Filtered. Good. Now I've done, and now I'm going to create my measure. So I've done the modeling, actually not much, just an example how to add another table, and the modeling is here. So for the modeling, for the creating measures, I'll use things that I have prepared for myself already before. So let's go here and create a new measure, and the measure will be like distinct count on post cells and so on. So this is not working because the name of the fact from my example is post cells, which obviously is not what I have here. So I'll rename this guy too. Voila. So this should be working. So something with all receipts is not having an error anymore. And whenever I do something when I'm developing, I list all the measures in a table, so I see what is about this. Let's try with the division. It's a division, and this division we will put it here, actually on the first spot like this. So now we have the it's not 97 receipts, but all these items, actually item divisions, have some members in the receives, and this is as many times as it has. So this is good. Step one. Now I would like, this is all. I would like to know how many times an item is in two tables, in an item table and in a second one, which I'm calling item filter table. And this will be done by another measure. This measure is just coming. Voila. So actually, received with both products will say, okay, calculate. Now, distinct count. First, calculate the post receipts that there are, and actually what you do then summarize and put away a filter and say, give me when there is a relationship between the post sales ID and the item filtered ID. So just give me this information and look for also what we have filtered. So we are, in this case, we are looking also some relationship that is not fixed, but I use this only this formula. Okay, so let me see what we have now. Okay, I'm having it. Didn't create any error. Yeah, but the data are the same. So what is the reason? Actually, I know. And the reason is the data model. The data model here is that I have items that are hooked, directly, which is good. But this guy here shouldn't be, connected actively, because this would mean that whenever I do something filtering on item, it will have the effect here. Now, what I did right now is, I deactivate, but the relationship is still there, but it's just not active, which means I'm using it when I need it. And this is in this formula here. So now, let me see now, should be better. So let me see now with the slicer and bring in some division filter, actually like here, a slicer, shoes, you see, boats, there are no boats, by clothing. If I go back to the model and go and make this active, you see, it's flat. It shows me because, the filter here makes also a filter there. So yeah, for that reason, this should not be active. Okay, this was the point of this presentation because the rest steps are fairly easy. Now we have we have to get the percentages, but there is one problem. There would be always 100% when I have shoes and a filter that division also shoes. So I will create a new measure that will say, hey, if the count is the same, just tell me this is a true. So I will work only on those things that are not the same. So what I have now here, it's just a true-false result, where actually I'm looking into, oops, this should be, let me just see one, false, see, true, okay, no, not the case. This one, you see, this one is true now because they have the same members. So this will be a filter, and the rest is just, a small, simple MDX here, which is saying give me the division between these two, and just those two to those who are false, otherwise it's empty. Voila. Okay, so I'll bring in the basket here as a percentage. Not much. We may think it's an error, but let's try with this gun here. It's a little better for bike shoes, but definitely what we'll do is we'll do a design here. Now we already have something. Now this is good. So if I duplicate this page and I want to give something like this, right? This is what I would like to get. Okay, so columns and rows, good. So as a measures, I just keep everything just a basket, and I'll use this guy here, which is also a table, and put divisions in a column. Okay, so now I don't need any filter anymore, and the data look nice. I created this relationship Okay, actually I don't need these percentages, make no sense for me. But this is good, and you know, duplicate it once again, because I would like to do is conditional formatting, but unfortunately I don't have it. So actually I have to go step back like this and do conditional formatting on this type of table. So what that would be is, let's say, no relation, red, highly related, big. Okay. So this is as far as I can go with Power BI now. Unfortunately, I cannot make easily a table. Maybe I can, maybe I don't know, or a picture like this. This is from Tableau. But Microsoft is, you know, coming fast, and I'm sure that it'll come also with the good visuals, because Microsoft did all in Excel, definitely is there. So we have this information, and if I go here and see, for example, what have we found out is then, let's say if we are working, you know, these, where are the percentages high, and obviously we see that if we are buying pens or dresses, we definitely buy something else. But if we buy shoes, I mean, we don't buy anything with the shoes. So shoes are just shoes in the basket, and that's all. So okay, this was the finding of our basket analysis. Now, before we continue, I'm sure some of you know that I can do just the same thing that I have done, all the steps in Power BI, I can do in Excel. Because I mean, the Power BI has been developed based on a Power Query and all the elements that are coming from Excel. And actually, you see, I have done this 10 minutes before the first presentation. So what I have here, this is the end result. Looking nice, much better. See, shoes here, pants, dresses here, much better, because Excel can do this. What is there behind? It's a Power Pivot model, and this Power Pivot model works just the same as Power BI model, because actually it was first developed here and then moved there. So we have a diagram view with 3 members, this relation active, this not active. I've selected only few things here, and creating measures are here. So for example, received those products, the script is just the same as I had one here in OR. And this is just the same. Actually, when I was learning DAX, I was using Excel. There is much more examples for Excel, and the scripts are the same, and error messaging system is better. So if you do something wrong, he will tell you, you see, I made an empty space. Where are things wrong? You cannot expect this in Power BI yet, but the DAX, the language, is the same. So yeah, maybe you will do something also first in Excel. But of course, I mean, Excel is nice. I don't think they will develop this in Excel anymore. And also Excel, it comes with a cost. So you see, 5 MB, and I don't have a lot of data, 100 rows. So it's not for unlimited, because here too I import the data. So this one doesn't have a DirectQuery mode where I would just send a command like, you know, analysis services, and he returns Excel with filtered results. Okay, so we have seen what Power BI can do, and also good old Excel can do many things. The next part of our webinar is report design. And the first question is, do we replace Excel with Power BI, yes or no? Shortly, Power BI is extending the functionality of Excel. These are like two brothers. They are built on the same platform. They are sharing results. Power BI can publish to Excel. Excel can publish to Power BI, and they're really working good, and they can be used in different scenarios. So in most cases, because Power BI will look more as a front end, it will be used as a front end on mobile and on the web, and this will be on the road. But of course, I would like to have also, if I'm in the office, a web browser, giving me the dashboards of my business. But if you are an accountant or controller or someone using it heavily, then you will be in Excel. So for example, let's see why and how. For the beginning, we will open, let's go first on our web page. Okay, and the web page is here. Let's go for receivables. You can have a look at all the Power BI reports on our web page here. And receivable is already here. See sales, purchase, receivables, inventory, and so on. So let me go again to the receivables. It's fast. I mean, Microsoft Cloud is working like hell, really very fast, very good. Don't notice this is, why would you have on-premise if you have such a cloud? Security, sure, but speed, you have it here. So this is good. You see, I have here a report that I can do some slicers and so on, and I can select something from my folder here, and this is okay. And then I can publish this to the web and have it mobile and so and so, mobile, and it's good. Now, if we have a look into BF4 Dynamics reports that we connect to the cubes. So let me see one receivables, okay? And let me just open it here. We have the same measures here. Of course, there are more reports and different situations because this is more mature. But the key point here is this part, okay? Let me see. Let me show you. I'm analyzing receivables. And this is something that can't be done really in Power BI. I mean, it can be done, but not that fast and that powerful. So now analysis services woke up, and I'm looking into receivables over time, and I would like to know the structures of my receivables. And I would like to see this before an overview. And this is the structure. So because I have Excel 2010, I can bring in Excel once again and show this as a % of column total. I have only one option here, and I do the conditional formatting, and what I see that this is getting more and more red. So I filter, and I don't need this guy anymore, and I'll have a look at due analysis. I'm doing this every day, so don't worry about this. About my customer, so okay, like this, I sort largest to the smallest, bring conditional format, not conditional formatting, but some slicers here, like this, not the slicers actually. Too many members, just focus on top 10. So that see why our structures are not good. Okay, so this is what I have to redesign. Okay, I have to be here and change data type into this one here. Okay, good. And I would like to speak about these customers. This is overdue, and let me go to the document level to see what is really we are speaking about. So I'm showing you the ad hoc reporting that Excel is doing excellent. When you have a data warehouse-based solution, then you have all the details with a few clicks. You see 60,000 is a problem overdue, and if I need to get more, I just keep this one, and I bring in a salesperson and say, hey, John, just call this customer and say why they are 2 years overdue. I mean, that's not for John, maybe it's ready for legal steps to be taken. But actually, you have seen how fast you can do really a lot with Excel. Now, Power BI has different role, and putting this to the web, to the dashboard, do the modeling here, perfect. So definitely what we believe is that Power BI is extending where Excel is not strong, Power BI is coming. And let me tell you, the price is not an issue. Whatever the current price in dollars, pounds, or in euros is, that is affordable to all of the customers and partners that I've been speaking about. This is not an issue. So you may not have Power BI for, this is the paid pro version, right? This is a yearly fee. You will not have all the users on a Power BI, but some of the users, salespeople, management will be here, and more office-oriented people will be using still Excel. Good. And we have been focusing on front-end functionality. We didn't, compare the back-end data modeling features because Power BI here is much better. But Excel can connect to Power BI, so yeah. So this is it. A few things about the visuals. When creating the reports, you may have noticed that Microsoft announced that you can import different parts here in the Power BI visuals, and this is a gallery, and this is coming down from Power BI visuals. This is a list. There are about 30, and I was expecting to have more, but actually, yeah, obviously it's difficult to create and fulfill all the requirements, because you can submit one and you can have it and put it with your logo or something, but most of them are coming from Microsoft. And I would encourage you to have a look and try and use those there are. We are using attribute slicer. That is a very good part. This one, if you want to select only one member. So this is this guy here. You see, it's filtering what we are looking here. And the chiclets, this is a better filtering slicer. You can design it a little better. Okay, so, but actually I can tell you I was expecting to have like 50 or 100 more, but definitely because Power BI is developing every month, it's difficult to follow for the others. Now we are going to the last phase of our webinar, and this is a report distribution. And this part of the project is really not risky. So we have developed a model. We have prepared our data. We have created a model in Power BI. We created additional measures and so on, and we have published this to the cloud. So the data are here. Okay. If I want to use this data on the web, on mobile, I can publish it manually, or I can use a scheduled update. Okay. And in this case, I need a piece of software, a gateway, that will be running the show. So this gateway is not going anymore to the desktop, but as Power BI here has a model and a data, it has all it needs. It just, saying, hey, update data, go here again, and, make them available. So actually there are two ways, two versions of a gateway. So point number one, if you want to update data manually, then you must be on a pro version. Otherwise, you can't do it. And the personal edition is when you install it for yourself on your computer, and the sources are from your computer, more or less. And if you want to do something that you share with someone, then you go after enterprise. They are in the same pro version, so you're not paying for the enterprise version more. This is a gateway that you download, and this is just how you set it up. And yeah, and this is working. This is working here. Now the next question is, you have seen the reports. All these reports are, publicly available to everyone. When you are on our page, you didn't log in. It is just there. So you can publish reports to the web, Yes, but you cannot publish it to the private web. This is not going to. So obviously there is, I think, some licensing issue here, because let me show you something about the Power BI idea. Maybe you are aware of it, maybe not, but Microsoft works like, you know, a small enterprise or a company. It's listening to our ideas. And actually, when you go on this web, you can register, and I think you get 50 votes, and you can give 2 or few votes to each issue or create your own. And Microsoft is, you know, watching closely on how many ideas are there, new requests, and really, you know, giving us a feedback. So currently, you see private published to the web. You can check all the 50 plus comments, and there is some senior product manager saying that we are reviewing this, which means it's not in development, but it's under review. So yeah, this is it. Because many of you would like to, you know, publish it locally and use one user and accessing data that updates daily more often. It's not. And the last part is how to manage users. I mean, how? There is a way, there is a gateway. You go there, you create data sources, you create BI content, you put users into the groups, you filter which dimensions you see. You can learn this. It's not that sophisticated as we have in analysis services. That part is even more detailed, but this one is, you know, good enough, very good, because this was available in April release. You know, before that, we could not manage users. You can also monitor who's doing what, but referring to security, yeah, this is available and you can use. Actually, this is the end. We are living, I would say, in a very exciting period. New things are coming every day, and there is not a single way to use Power BI. Depends really what you want to analyze, what profile of the user you are, or the user in your organization, and what SQL edition you have right now. And so for that reason, we have these few steps that you have to follow when going into implementation, or if you already know, maybe you found out a tip here, a tip there. These things will continue. And we had a webinar in April, and this one in June brought many, many new things. So I would like to thank you all for being present, and see you on the next webinar. If you have some questions, we will answer it privately. You can write to my email or sales@bf4dynamics.com. Thank you again, and see you on the next webinar. Goodbye.